Welcome on today's conversation on the future of work, where AI isn't just a buzzword, but a business driver. This is Lenovo Work Reborn, live in Orlando.
Welcome to the Lenovo Work Reborn podcast. I am here with my guest, Duval. Duval, grateful to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Could you share a little bit about your role and what you do?
Sure. Director of Service Management at Brandywine Realty Trust. I manage our help desk and AV teams.
Perfect. So just before we got on this podcast, we were sharing about something that you do for employee engagement. And we were talking about this because the Lenovo team did a 600-person study around employee engagement and found that employee engagement is one of the topics of concern when this changing workforce that we're in today. And I'd love to hear just what you think of employee engagement and how you are yourself as a director engaging your teams.
Sure. So like in a support team, things can get stagnant and kind of repetitive. So to keep things interesting and just, interesting and fun, we try to reward employees with like either certificates or awards. So one thing that we always did was we used Microsoft Teams. So anytime we got positive feedback from other business units saying somebody was really helpful or they went above and beyond, instead of just like an email, we like to recognize that. So one of the things we would typically do within our team, we have a team chat. So we use the GIFs, and I would always do a kudos, and the GIF would be like a kudos with a gold star. So it took it another level where instead of just that one-time message with the team and everybody, seeing it and recognizing it, I went out and purchased a trophy with a gold star, and they put a little note on it saying like gold star IT professional, just so that whenever somebody does get positive feedback, I can then physically give them the trophy, and then they're the holder of that trophy until there's like another kudos moment that we can share. So it turns into a little bit of a competition now where the person gets the trophy, and then, I send out the normal Teams message like, I received great feedback, awesome job, kudos, here's the gift, like the picture again, you get the trophy. And then the next time I send something out, now it's gotten to the phase where the next person that gets the kudos, they'll just go over to the person's desk and take it off their desk and, proudly display it on their desk till the next time. So it's just like, it's a fun thing to do internally. In the past, we've also done other award type things like actual certificates that I'll print out, frame, and then give them to an employee that has like the most tickets or requests closed for the year. I used to call it the Closer Award. So they would get that, and then they could proudly display that in their cubicle too. Other things that, as rewards, as a company, we have a thing called Brandywine Awards. So it's a web portal that you can actually go to, anybody in the company, and if they went above and beyond, did something special, just to recognize them. It's almost like a Facebook type page where you can put a public message out there for the rest of the company to see, give them their kudos, but then you can also give them a monetary award as well too, where they have money to spend in this online shop. But me, for the personal touch for my team, the trophy was, the gold star standard, so to say. It was something
physical gold star.
Yeah, it was something fun that we did between the team, and the rest of the team seems to enjoy it and has fun with it.
Yeah, I love that you're bringing really human touch to your team, which is a conversation that I think a lot of us are now re-having as we're in this space of AI and automation. And since we are at this conference today, I'd love to know what your thoughts have been around employee engagement in the new workforce that we exist in today.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Like, just like grabbing stats and telemetry data off of endpoints and everything to see how their experiences are working.
Okay.
To try to like be more proactive and make it better for them, for their engagement. Like, that's just a kind of a odd way to look at engagement, but for me, it's just a better experience on their end where it makes it easier for them to do their job versus them just dealing with slowness or something not working and reporting. And then the Cisco VP that had spoke on his keynote, I think it was yesterday, I thought their approach was pretty interesting, where they have like a whole onboarding package that when they bring somebody on, there's like a whole set of package of equipment, everything that's just like pre-canned, ready to send out the door. It just was pretty interesting. Like we have our onboarding package too, but they're like going a whole other level with the physical material, the hardware, but they're also layering AI into it as well. With they're spinning up a dedicated AI agent that kind of from the onboarding process, that agent is working in line with the employee and learning everything that that employee touches, what they do to help the employee throughout their job. But if they were to ever move on, they still have that resource then as the agent, as that person moved on too. So, I mean, that's just another way of engaging the employees and
Interesting.
making things work better.
And so, what has been your overall takeaway at this conference?
I mean, it's just AI everywhere.
AI
Yeah.
everything.
It seems like the larger companies are further along. I don't know if it's just resources in general or, mainly resources. But everybody that I talk to that's not presenting in the keynotes, it seems like they're not as far behind, that we're kind of on the same level of, we have like the intro part of it, the chat and interactions, but on the agentic side, we're still playing with it, I guess, so to say, trying to advance that and get that more mature. I mean, it's still early. I mean,
Yes.
it's just moving so quick where it may be early, but you always feel like you're falling behind. But it just seems like everybody that I talk to outside or, at lunch, breakfast, we're kind of all at the same level,
Yes.
which is comforting.
It is
because it's
comforting.
kind of intimidating in the sessions, hearing how far along some of the other companies
Right.
are, and you're just like, you got to step up your game.
Right.
So it is motivating too, but it's also welcoming hearing the same struggles and challenges that other companies are having, like our peers, just working through the same issues. And it's good making those connections where we can help one another out to get further.
So, if you had to leave the audience with one takeaway from this conversation and the conversations that you've been having around employee engagement, AI, what would that takeaway be?
So the biggest thing for me is there's just a general fear, I think, from a lot of the employees with AI.
Okay.
Not necessarily like how cool and how helpful it is, but is it going to take my job? And that's like a lot of the topics that are coming up in the sessions where you have to like be flexible more. So like the job that I do today is going to look different than it is like a year or two from now. I might not have to do all the manual stuff that I'm doing today, but there's still going to be stuff for me to do. It's just you have to transform and kind of evolve with it. It's not like you're going to, I mean, some positions might get cut, but other positions will get added in the same place too. So if you're flexible and, comfortable with change, I mean, ultimately you should just roll with it more or less. That's just my general feeling. I think AI, like you have to embrace and use AI or you're just going to be left behind.
Right. And so, to round this conversation up, what one skill do you think that you are learning yourself or want to learn from the conversations we're having here, or that a skill that you want your team to start using to upskill themselves?
So with AI, mainly just using agents and configuring them, getting them in place. Because it sounds easy to say, but there's like a lot of aspects to it. There's the governance, there's just, the guardrails that you have to put in place and everything just to make sure your data is clean and right. But ultimately getting those agents configured in place and, make it work for you and whatever your goals are. But you have to have a clear vision on what you're trying to accomplish to be able to take that step.
Thank you so much for being on the
Oh,
podcast.
thanks for having me.
And if you enjoyed this conversation, please check out the Work Reborn report in the description below, where you'll learn more about how Lenovo is bringing new life to the modern workplace. And if you're watching us on YouTube, feel free to scan this QR code right here, and you can see us next time. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us live in Orlando for this amazing episode of Work Reborn. I've been your host, Rita Risha, and it's been a pleasure to bring you insightful conversations from around the world, especially at this event, on how we are bringing new life to the modern workplace. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to stay tuned on more ways that we are doing just that, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe our channel, and download a copy of the Work Reborn report today.
Lenovo.